Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, welcome to the sitting of today, Tuesday, the 28th day of February 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Clerk, you can confirm whether there is quorum.
Mr. Speaker, sir, quorum is present.
Quorum having been confirmed, we proceed with business of the day. First order.
Administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
No communication.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Under statements, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a statement response by the Chairperson Committee on Public Works, Road, Transport, Housing and Energy.
Very well. Honorable Simon Bogomboro, Chairperson Committee on Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport, and member for Weru.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is response statement sought by Honorable Remui Kayani, sought in this assembly, and first of all, I wish to table before I move. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to table response to a statement requested in this assembly by Honorable Remui Kayani, member for Gidafai.
Response duly tabled. You can proceed and respond.
And Mr. Speaker, sir, protect me from the commissioner. He's bringing business. As I am moving. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a completion of a statement. We had already tabled a preliminary report on the same. The statement was sought in this assembly last year, sometimes back. And on the part of the previous, Mr. Speaker, the mandate of the committee is to investigate into, study the programs and everything, because it is a sector committee like any other, which I will not read, Mr. Speaker, because I know honorable members of this assembly are now conversant with the mandates of the committee. Mr. Speaker, the committee is chaired by myself, deputized by one Maureen Mugaki. Honorable Samuel Gadirimo is a member, Ruben Karaja, Zachary Jeru, Daniel Dungu, Esther Waidera, Bedu Aheto, and Matimu are members. Our secretariat comprises of one Grace Nganga, who is the committee clerk. We have Judy Kinyua, our Hansard, Gakio, and Paul Moya, who happens to be our sergeant at arms. I go directly to introduction. Mr. Speaker, this is a response to a statement request by Honorable Remui Kayani on the 12th day of October 2022, pursuant to Standing Order 46C. In his statement request, the FAI representative requested the chairperson, Public Work, Road Transport, Housing and Energy to respond to some queries concerning operation of the county-owned road machineries and the extent of utilization of the funds allocated for the program. The committee considered the statement, request, and resolved to seek information from the department concerning the issue raised. Consequently, the committee received a detailed report from the Department of Public Works, Road Transport, Housing and Energy on the day 27th October 2022, which explained the extent of implementation of the said program in 3 phases financed by the budget in the financial year 2020-21 and 21-22 and the supplementary budget of financial year 2021-2022. The committee therefore resolved to respond on the statement question based on the information received, the explanation given by the CCM, and the following observation were made. Mr. Speaker, the committee was guided by the question raised by the said member, and definitely I will not read how he sought, but I will go directly to the resolution or the direct question he requested. When he sought the statement, he wanted to know A, the number of kilometers constructed per ward, gravelled per ward, how much of the money budgeted per the ward was paid for, fuel used, and the balances thereof. C, the total number of machineries in the county and how they were distributed in each unit, the status of the road machineries for each unit in terms of their working condition and compliance with the law, number of machineries in each unit, clock mileage and hours. E, he wanted to know fuel report, or to get the fuel report of each truck and the number of dumping per truck. He wanted enough detailed report of the cost of maintenance of each machinery and the mechanical sustainability per unit in the financial year and the number of drivers and operators that operated the machine. Those are the questions that we are trying to answer. The committee, after the statement request, sat down. A letter was transmitted to the committee executive cabinet member in charge of the department on 27th October, and it was responded to on the 27th of October, replying to the issues. Tabulated data was received that required intense analysis, and therefore the committee held several meetings to analyze the same before responding to the question. The committee, having considered the said report, however, resolved that the clerk does compile a preliminary report, noting that the time allowed for it to report back the House was about to lapse. A preliminary response was tabled in this House on the 8th day of November, that is sometimes back last year, and the committee requested for more time to conduct site visit to ascertain the process. Mr. Speaker, by then, when we responded for the preliminary report, we had not gone to the site visit, so we brought it as a preliminary report so that we can go and ascertain thereof because our time had elapsed. The committee was allocated time. The committee invited the CCM to clarify on several issues noted in the forwarded report, and the lengthy meeting was held on 1st of December 2022, where the committee was informed that the program was proceeding well. The CCM for the department, Honorable Kenyajui, attended the meeting and defended the program, saying that the fuel management, which had been a major concern in the program, was under new management. where he said strict measures were being followed. He was tasked to explain why vehicles were operating without insurance cover. It was reported that 4 major accidents involved county vehicles were recorded that their insurance policies had expired. It was noted that one and only fire engine in the county, which had been involved in an accident, was yet to be repaired. The Department of Finance and County Attorney were reported to respond, or were reported to be responsible for the issuance of the insurance stickers. In order to ascertain the current operation status on the ground, the committee conducted a site visit on the 20th of February 2022 at Charagita Ward, where the machineries of Unit 4 were working. This visit underneath several challenges. Indeed, the committee is aware now of the challenges the program is experiencing and looking forward to follow up the matter and streamline the program. The committee again invited the CCM and the unit operational managers in a meeting scheduled for the 22nd of March 2022, seeking to know why the progress of work at various wards was slower than expected. The meeting was attended by the acting chief officer and the acting director in charge of roads and transport, whereby the committee highlighted more challenges and proposed for possible solutions to the problems currently being experienced. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that the statement questioned were limited to financial year 2021-2022, and because that is what the seeker of the statement wanted. The committee, however, being cognizant the program is ongoing, decided to explore more in the current operation with an aim of identifying the challenges facing the program. Having identified several gaps in the program, the committee is considering policy review for the machinery operations. Over the time, fuel management has been a major issue, whereby fuel is exhausted before all scheduled work is done. This has been caused by other departments fueling from the development fuel kitty, and therefore was that a scheduled rust in the unit do not get sufficient fuel to complete the plan as worked. Mr. Speaker, those are annexures of what was done, the request statement with answers. After the annexures are there, then we go to page. These are annexures in where we are showing how the wards, what wards received their balances as per the date of preparation. So we go directly to, I think, and I will be bringing to members who are elected. I'm not saying that it is not important to the others, but members who are representing wards can go through, and then they will be telling us whether what has been tabled is what is showing on the ground. A list of machineries as distributed. I am now in page 11, in where I'm trying to conclude on, oh, Madam Speaker, sorry. Very well, Madam Speaker, I am now in page 11, in where we are trying to analyze the detailed or the tabled data that had been requested. And as I continue reading, a list of machineries as distributed per ward indicates that some of the tippers in a unit have been used in more than one unit. Therefore, it is not easy to identify which machinery was for specific unit. Madam Speaker, in this one, we are trying to say, or the seeker of the statement wanted to know or had sought to know where specific tipper or otherwise machineries worked. It was not easy for us to identify because a machine was at a given unit. In fact, we found that a tipper had worked in all the units. So it was not easy to identify where it had worked. The current status at the unit is unclear owing to breakdown of some vehicles and machineries. For example, in Charagita Ward, only one truck was assigned to ferry materials. By the time the committee visited the ward, it was allegedly reported that 2 more trucks were assigned to the ward after the committee site visit. Number 4, the status. A report provided on the status of the road machinery indicates that most of them are operational and have been inspected and insured. However, the following vehicle had mechanical problems. Remember, the seeker in question number 4 wanted to know how many machines were working. So we found that 3 pickups, Isuzu D-Max, 1 Toyota, they are tabulated there, 1 grader, New Holland, required mechanical repair, 1 Isuzu tipper, numbered there, requires mechanical repair. A report was also provided for trucks for their clock mileage, and it is annexed in 3B. Currently, the number of machinery breakdown has increased with minor mechanical failures which have been taking time to be repaired for lack of an efficient repair and maintenance policy, which is manifested by poor procurement and restocking policy for spare parts and repair. Madam Speaker, we found that a grader would stop for a week simply because of puncture. The department reported that the insurance matters are handled in finance department for the whole county, and that the transport department received insurance stickers. Madam Speaker, it was not easy for us because we are mandated. When I was reading the mandate of the committee, we are not expected to oversight the Department of Finance, and it was not easy for us to request for the same. So they said that is a matter that can be investigated by the Committee of Finance, or rather asked and directed to the CECM, because insurance was done from one central point for all the county machineries. Number 5, on the issue of fuel, a fuel report of the department's vehicle and machinery daily and monthly consumption was provided to the committee. The report had aggregated amounts of liters consumed per day, and committee requested to have each machinery get an individual record for fuel management and repair and maintenance report. The report is annexed in the report for members' scrutiny in Annex 4. The report provided also includes the lubricants consumed by machinery as a whole. Hence, individual machine consumption is not disintegrated. The committee, in their meeting held on 1st December 2022, tasked the department to open a register for all vehicles whereby all cost of repair and maintenance will be recorded to ensure they track the cost of maintenance, which will enable the department to conduct their cost-benefit analysis as well as monitor their usage. Dumping by each truck. According to the information given, the committee noted that some trucks were able to ferry more dumping roads than other across the unit. For example, 18 CGA, 18 CG 231 and 239A carried more road in Unit 1 and also recorded some road units in 2 and Unit 3. It is interesting to note that 2 of the trucks are operated by drivers engaged on casual basis. Madam Speaker, in this one, I'll have to clarify a little bit. The seeker of the motion sought or wanted to know the performance of different trucks. We had a case study of all of them, and when we analyzed, we found that 230, 231, and 239 were the best performing. Unfortunately or fortunately, they were being operated by people who were hired on contract. Them that were being operated by the permanent and pensionables was lagging the rest. Continuation. That one is clearly shown in Annexure 2, in where we have shown the clear tabulation of each and every machine and its operation. In Unit 2, hire trucks covered more substantial ground in addition for 4 county-owned trucks. They are there, which also served in Unit 3. It is obvious that the number of trucks ferried depends on the wheelage difference from the quarry, but from the report, some trucks were able to ferry more roads than others in the same unit despite of us covering the same distance. That is exactly what I had explained. Number 6, it is detailed report on the cost of maintenance. In this one, the report presented has not separated the individual machines cost of maintenance, but as earlier reported, only 4 pickups, 1 grader Nihorad, and 1 tipper require mechanical repair. It is in Annexure 3. In this one, he had requested to be given clear detailed report on maintenance of each machinery. It was not possible, so they only gave a report of how they have maintained all the machineries. The committee has established increased machine failure since machineries have been breaking down from time to time. This has demanded numerous repair and maintenance to be done, and in some instances, necessitating members of this assembly to chip in order to fast track the repair and avoid wasting time when machine breakdown. Therefore, the report given there above is not representative of the current situation. Madam Speaker, in this one, we were guided, and when we went to Charagita, we established that very morning, Mheshimiwa from the said area had spent 20,000 from his own pocket to fuel. The previous day he had spent 10,000, and it is something that is getting to all members. So the report that is given in here, when we went to the ground, much of the same that is clearly indicated here might not be the true. We go to number 7, drivers and operators employed and casual workers handling the machine. A list of operators managing the machineries was submitted to the committee, Annexure 5. According to the document submitted, contractual plant operators are 3, casual operators are 5, interns are 6, permanent and pensionable operators are 48. Conclusion. Madam Speaker, my committee presented a preliminary report to the House and requested members to give their assessment of the report submitted by the executive concerning the road maintenance through the county-owned machinery. It is important to note that members never registered any complaint from the said report, and therefore the committee assumed that it was representative of the situation on the ground. Madam Speaker, when I presented a preliminary report, I told all the representative of wards to go through the preliminary, they register with my committee if they had no complaint. I think there is no complaint because none of them came to the committee. So I assume what they had said was a true reflection of what was on the ground. Several complaints have been received recently concerning the breakdown of the machinery, reshuffling of the unit staff, lack of fuel management policy, procurement leakages for materials and repair services, and slow pace of work in the unit despite for the coming rains. What we noted as a committee, because we have already answered what he requested, but as a committee, because we were interested, we noted that if only the department had a framework of getting repair or rather getting their repair gadget with the time, whereby they will not involve tedious procurement, they would be in a better position, because that is part of what we noted was delaying them in doing the work. Again, procuring of materials, that was the biggest giant in the house, anywhere members are expected to even go to pay gravel. And surprisingly, Madam Speaker, they never complained to the committee, so we assumed what was said by the department was true. The committee held a site visit to ascertain the circumstances on the ground. Having heard the complaints from members concerning the current snags, we invited the CECM to a meeting held on the 22nd day of February in this assembly. The CECM was not available. Therefore, he was represented by the chief officer, Mr. Jospat Gigi, and acting director, Sami Mugi. The officers confirmed the allegations made concerning problems in procurement and supply and spreading of the gravel material, and repair and maintenance weaknesses, and fuel managing problem where other departments have been fueling their vehicles from the road maintenance account without refunding the fuel, hence interfering with the program. Madam Speaker, one of the biggest things we noted in this one is that to a certain extent, all the departments are being driven by the roads department. This is simply because we had come up with a very good policy in where fuel from the department is procured at the start of the year. When the other departments are exhausted, or rather they have not procured for their department, they simply go to the roads department in a name of, or in other words, saying or insinuating that they will pay back, but that fuel has not been responded to, or rather it has not been reciprocated to the department. Meaning, if that one continues, Madam Speaker, it means the last 10 wards will not be serviced, or they will not get what was developmental aspect to their wards, because the fuel will have been spent as a recurrent in other department. My committee will be following keenly to see if the timeline given for the correction of the identified hitches will be complied with. The committee is also considering revisiting the existing policy in the county road machinery with a view of streamlining the program in operation. What we noted is that before this program started, Madam Speaker, we had sat down as an assembly, that is sometimes back in the last assembly, whereby we came up with a clear guideline on the ORA policy, the policy that explained how everything would be done. We noted that the department has been going out of the policy, and what we are doing as a committee is making sure that we streamline and make sure that the department is back with adherence to what we had stipulated in the policy. So we settled a date with the committee or the executive. We said that every month we'll be meeting once, not even expecting them, or not them necessarily expecting a letter from this. And the other one was scheduled on the 15th of March, in where they will have responded to a few hitches that they portrayed, and they were convinced, because we questioned them, especially on the issue of fuel, in where we never expected fuel from the developmental aspect to be carrying a CCM or doing any other work in the department. And they agreed on the same. They said they will change on the same issues. So as a committee, we gave them an ultimatum and a guideline in where on the 15th we will meet again in the assembly, and they will have a report. We are going to ascertain whether they have responded to what we agreed. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and that is the response from the committee that had been sought by Mheshimiwa Kayani from Githafai on the status of the machinery. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mburu. Do we have any inputs on this statement?
Yes.
Yes, Honorable Kungu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Kayani is not in, but I want to congratulate him for seeking this statement. It has taken some time.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
You need the information?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And the observation which has been made by the ranking member, Honorable Kongo, that Honorable Kayani is not in the house. He in the house in the name of Gadongo Kamau. I'll be holding brief for him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, but that remains you are not Kayani, but you'll be holding brief. So I had seen it right. Maybe Madam Speaker, sorry. I want to congratulate the Roads Committee for this elaborate report. But Madam Speaker, I don't want to go back because this is a statement that has taken some time before it was responded. And as we are aware in this assembly, this machinery program is an ongoing program. So it has been ongoing and it is happening right now. Maybe my contribution to this is that the program is not moving well. It's not smooth as we are speaking right now. As we are speaking right now, it has come to a standstill. It is no longer operational in this county because there is no fuel. And I have seen they have quoted as they were doing their conclusion and the recommendations. We need to move very fast as a committee. We need to look at the policy because it is very unfortunate that each and every member of this assembly, the elected member, did set aside between 4 and 6 million so that the machinery can do work in their areas. But as the chair has stated here, it is so unfortunate that it might happen, the 10 last words, nothing will be done, which will be very, very unfair to those words because they had set money in their budget, but the money has been used for other sources. What you are going to notice is that the department provides fuel for all the other departments. Right now, as we are speaking, machinery, and you can see the weather is very conducive for doing roads. They are, for example, right now in Unit 3, they are in Wanjohi Ward. They have not worked for the last 2 weeks. They are lying idle because there is no fuel. So we cannot cheat ourselves and say that this program is longer working. We need to sit aside and look at what is happening, because if we don't look at it, finally the financial year is going to come to an end. Some wards they will have benefited, other wards will not benefit. That is unfair to those wards. The other thing, as I speak about fuel, we really need to look at, to investigate on this matter. How much fuel is bought and how much fuel actually get used. Because I have every reason to believe that there is a gap between the oil, the fuel that is used and the one that is bought. There is a gap and something is happening in that department. When it comes to the issue of quarry materials, another issue, dangerous issue. Suppliers are never paid. As we are speaking, nobody in this county is willing to supply quarry to this machinery program because they are not paid. So maybe I don't want to go deeper, but I am looking at the best way to look at this matter. But Chairman Roads, because they have stated that they are meeting monthly. Maybe Chairman Roads is the high time that in your monthly meeting, you incorporate all the elected members together with the SDU, those people and who are responsible for looking at this program, whether it is working. We sit somewhere because this program is coming to an end. And very soon, as the chairman budget, I will be proposing that we set aside this machinery. They will be hired there and bring revenue to the county instead of providing money, and they are misused, and members of this assembly do not benefit from this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kong. Do you have any more input? Yes, Honorable Milka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am standing to just support what Mheshimiwa Kongo has said. It's a serious issue that we really need to think about. And first, I want to appreciate the Committee on Roads. They've done a good job. The document is well explained, but there is, you see, the document is voluminous, but there is more than meet the eye. They have the information, yes, but the question is, how do we ascertain that the fuel that we draw is the fuel that we use in our wards? Madam Speaker, the machinery, the Unit 5 machineries currently are in Leshaupondo. The other day I was asking Mheshimiwa, why are you taking this long with the machineries? He tells me, for the past 3 weeks, the machineries have not worked. And I'm like, I want those machinery to come back to Kirita because I still have some money remaining that need to use, that need to be used. So I'm just worried that come June this year, that money will get back to the assembly, to the treasury, and it will be very unfortunate for the people of Nyandarua to hear that we are returning money when our roads are pathetic. So, Chairman, something needs to be done. We need, what do we call it, an audit, a deeper audit on how this operation is happening. The other department cannot hold the department of roads hostage. This is our money. We have budgeted for fuel for the machineries. How then are they taking it to other uses? That is working against the budget, that is working outside the budget, and it is something that must be investigated. The money for roads must remain to be money for roads. My comment, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Milka. Thank you. Now we... Yes, Honorable Member, continue.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd like to support the response from Chairman Lund concerning the operation of this machine. Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we have that machine in our county and nothing is going on. Right now, Madam Speaker, I would like to inform you that Unit 3, Unit 4 machine are in Chalagita ward, but nothing is going. For 3 weeks, for the last 3 weeks, nothing is going on. We do not have fuel. We are paying the operators. We are paying the drivers. We have people who are working in that department. And it is unfortunate that there is nothing is going there. For I think we need to organize ourselves on that issue, and the minister in charge on that docket must think twice, because things are not going well. We have they are getting their salaries, and the people of Charagita are worrying, are not getting anything on that issue. They are the one they are getting as a salary. So what I'm saying, I'm 100% normal. Thank you.
That has substantively been clarified, the minority leader. Thank you, Keruka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report by the Road Committee read by our chair. I am a member of the Road Committee, so I'm privy to the information therein. And I want to congratulate the chairman for having done a good job with us, to have led us that way. And for your information, Madam Speaker, Road Committee is one of the most vibrant committee. We have been able to achieve over 90% of a quorum every time. And therefore, it's a serious committee, and the report must be taken with the seriousness it deserves. Madam Speaker, matters county road machinery. What informed the procurement of this machinery was noble, was a good idea, because the net effect is that we use less to achieve more, compared with the contracting of the construction of the roads. Madam Speaker, I already have an experience because I have already used them in Geta Ward. We are through from construction. Nevertheless, that notwithstanding, there is a lot that need be done for us to realize value for money. This is a great investment. A lot of county resources has been put, and prudent measures must be put in place to make sure that these resources don't go to waste and that we must get the maximum use of them. Madam Speaker, the operators we have are good, and the machinery to some extent, they are in order, although if nothing is done, they might rot in the yard, on the yard, and they might go to waste. I would want to echo what the chair budget has already said, Honorable Kongo, that we need urgently to convene a meeting of all stakeholders in this, I mean led by elected members. So that, because we have had experience, each one of us, and those who have not had experience are about to encounter some nightmares, because what you intend to do, you might do a quarter or nothing at all, especially at this moment where when there is no fuel and some machinery are down, and therefore we need an urgent convening so that we can chart the way forward. Madam Speaker, what is there to put this machinery back at work? What is needed is not as much as the loss we would go if we were to lose them. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I would encourage any effort put to put them on work and to have accountability, because at the moment, we are operating in a very opaque, if I have to say, if Cherera's word are anything to go by, we are operating in a very opaque system where you don't know. I was just caught by surprise and I was told your fuel is over. I asked them, over what? How? Just how? Because I didn't know when I started using the fuel, how much I was using, or how I account for it.
Order, members. Consult on low tones.
And therefore, what I had planned to do with the machinery had to be put on hold. And sometimes, you know, you are promising people that we are coming to do that particular road. We are coming to do that particular road. When you are caught by surprise and you don't have fuel and you will not do them, then what are you called? A liar. And that is detrimental, especially to my career as a politician, and especially at my age, because I cannot procure a job at this age. Madam Speaker, we need to be protected. We need this machinery in good form, and it is possible, it is doable. We have already tried, it is working, so it can be made better. And it will be made better by coming up with a very comprehensive formula. I congratulate the executive, because at the moment, we have already put the trackers in the lorries, so that now the machinery can be tracked to their particular location, where they are. That is one point. But I didn't know, that's why consultation is very important, because I didn't know what informed that against, because I believe a huge amount of money has been used to do that. What the logic of having the trackers at this time and not having fuel with the same money to facilitate construction of the roads before the rains come? I didn't know how. But, however, it's a good step forward because we are one step forward towards accountability, one step forward towards efficiency, one step forward towards value for money. Madam Speaker, our committee is more than ready to oversight, and we also need facilitation from the executive so that at the end of the day, more roads will be done with little. Exactly, I believe, informed the procurement of this very important machinery. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I want to request or to put on, I mean, alert that the executive, because we live in seasons, and in Nyandarua, when we need, we receive rain, we receive it in torrents. Then it is not possible to construct roads. What need be done is that even the contracting work must be given immediately so that the work can be done just before the rains come. Because once the rains come, the work that will be done will be will be shoddy. And sometimes it is not because of the contractor, it is because of the bad weather. And it is not bad weather because we don't need rain, it is bad weather because it is not the right time to construct the roads. At the same token, in the same way, if the machines have to be maintained and be put in order, can it be done in between the budgeting and the allocation? Because when doing the budget, there is not a lot of work. So then the fleet can be maintained. The fleet can be repaired. The fleet can be, the tires can be bought. If there is personnel needed, they can be hired at that time. Then, when the time comes to put the machinery at work, all machines can be operational and they can be, they can go on without any downtime. Thank you, Madam Speaker. That is my contribution. As I have contributed in the committee, that I was just responding to support the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much. Let's have Honorable Kamwana. Then we proceed to Honorable Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for catching my eye this afternoon. My contribution this afternoon has been informed by my respectable Honorable Deputy Speaker. Because as he was standing up, I thought that he would come and say that the machinery program that we have in the county is one that is wonderful and one that has done a lot of work and the one that can be even used to benchmark by other counties. But let me say I'm happy this afternoon because we have been able to say that we still need to do more to this program. Why? Because I'm saying this, and I want to support our chairman and his team, that is the committee of roads. And I want to say that when he said, Madam Speaker, that we did not go to him to report on anything, I want to say I didn't have a lot of information to go and seek because the information and the annexures and all these matrix, I'm not able to understand them. And when I see, for example, that I have a negative in my balance of what I have in my ward, I want to say that so far, because I've been able to have this program in my ward, that sometimes we say that it is rocket science. Indeed it is, because you are not able to understand these figures. If I may say a bit about the finance that constitute to this information, is that when I asked the clerks of work one day our balances, he tells me that it is this amount. A few days away, he tells me that it is this other amount. amount that I cannot be able to comprehend. I wonder, how can you maybe have a difference of these figures of a very great number, say 100,000, in only a few days, and my dear Honorable Madam Speaker, the machine has not been learning. But the figures that you are told by these people is very different, and it is very amazing. Let me say this. We have been trying to compute the consumption or the absorption of the money as it is set aside. And we are able to see that if I'll be able to hire a lorry from my local people, the people who can be able to give us these lorries, I'll be able to making a better deal than using these machines. And with a very big difference. If I can hire a lorry full of hardcore from the quarries within my place to a certain load in my ward, we saw that it can have a difference of around 4,000. Such that when you use the county program, it is more expensive with 4,000 per one dumping, as compared to what we can hire from individuals. I want to say that I want to seek the indulgence of the committee, led by the chairman, whereby I can propose that we have a change of the policy that we are using. To an extent, maybe in the committees or in those people who set the BQs, or the computation of how these things will be done, the procurement and all those other processes, whereby we can be able to involve other people who are going to come up with better formulas and at the same time come up with other better laws. Because, for example, I was intending to hire some youth to come and do some drainage, and I was told that there is no such a vote. I cannot be allowed to hire a few people to come maybe and do a few work, that the work should solely be done by machines. This one is not practicable, because in some other instances we may need human labor, maybe to put this work in order. Let me say that if it is anything to go by, because when I look at all the departments in this county, the machine programs is one that maybe tells us how we are able to manage things. Because if I can say something in the field of economics, whereby we have what we call operations. We call them the production and operations. This is the department in economics that needs a lot of better management practices. This one means that if we are not be able to correct this one, I might due my fellow honorable members, there is no any other department, there is no any other initiative the county government can be able to learn. And that is why even we are getting a lot of problems in our own source revenue. Because this is another area whereby we are able to employ people, and these people needs to be seen to do something and to bring more income to the county government. So I want to say it is a shame, and I don't fear saying so, because like myself, I like seeing things being done properly. And I also want to remind Madam Speaker, this assembly, that I'm the chairman of the implementation. Go and look in the dictionary for the simple meaning of the word implementation. The acronyms of the word implementation are as many as 35. Because you be told it is to do this, it is to do the other. So it is a very good word that we need to get it right. We need to implement, and more so on the roads, because this is whereby we'll be able to make as many roads as possible if we are going to have a good policy, and at the same time we are going to have the willpower of the whole team so that we can be able to accomplish and be able to see us what my honorable speaker, our deputy speaker, was saying, that we cannot have value for money if we are not going to have many roads done by the county machinery as compared to the other work we can be able to hire in other methods like the construction methods. I wish to rest there, and I say thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Bench.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing, for giving me this chance to also support the chairman of the road department. He is a good chairman, and he is worrying, about what is happening on the ground. Yeah, Madam Speaker, we are above 6 months old in this leadership. And Madam Speaker, a ward like Kiruri, nothing has been done, having in mind that there are machinery on the ground. Most of the problems are man-made or less ignorance. Because, Madam Speaker, there are those machineries, even individuals are owning machines. The breakdowns are not numerous as those ones of the county government. Instead of performing, they are underperforming. If you go by as at now, we are talking of machinery. You look at case of fueling the machineries, and we are deducted the money for the same. I wonder how you can deduct the money, and yet you don't. You are not issuing the service. If they cannot have a better formula, let them have a petrol station for the county, so that there will be always adequate fuel. There is this consideration of allowance. The money is not known who are the beneficiaries. They only deduct money, millions of money, which can even buy a new machine. And you get there is no proper audit, nor a better breakdown to show how much one is getting, those that are meant to be the beneficiaries. It shows there is a lot of corruption in that field. I would rather suggest, if they cannot manage to secure our fuel, for example, let them give the MCAs keys after fueling so that we can manage for ourselves, because we are the blame of the day. Madam Speaker, what I would just wish the House to recommend, proper audit to be done after the completion of projects, so that if there is a remainder or there is a balance of the money deducted, the money can be taken back to the ward so that the project can be completed. The money of security is also a worry. You get millions deducted from your machinery money, and yet you leave the road incomplete. Cases of fuel is not something to address in this House. That should be automatically done, because we cannot start laughing here, waiting for the bed list of machineries as if they come from hospitals. We need a better service. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Renji. We now call upon Honorable Kadongo, who is making briefs for Honorable Kayani, and also representing the people of Teshaupando.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I appreciate this opportunity that you have given it to me. And as I've said, I'm holding brief for Honorable Kayani. And Madam Speaker, I'll first start by appreciating the report. It's a very exhaustive report from the Chairman of Roads. But Madam Speaker, what I would like to say is that all the honorable members were not in this House. And Madam Speaker, I know you have that power. I will kindly and humbly request that we have 25 copies for the members from the various wards, so that at least we usually say that we have gone digital in this assembly. We wanted to be paperless, but kindly, Madam Speaker, I would like you to, through the office of the clerk, to ensure that each and every honorable member gets a copy, so that at least they can be able to go through it. We are privileged, maybe to have been in this assembly in the previous government, but I know there are members who have not been able to go through the document because so that they can know whether those roads which have been indicated, because the chairman for roads can't know all the roads in Rishaupondo. We might have even some ghost roads which have been written here. And Madam Speaker, what I would like to say is that it's quite unfortunate. As you have heard members, you can see each and every member, there isn't anyone who is satisfied with these machines. And Madam Speaker, for those of us who made it back to this assembly, I would tell you these machines played a role because we were able to implement roads in our places, and we have always been complaining of poor roads. Madam Speaker, it's quite unfortunate. Like at a moment like this one, the rainy season is around the corner, and when the rainy season comes, the machines will not be in use. But I'm telling you, all the machineries, as we speak, there is no grader which is at work, there is no excavator which is at work, all the rollers are sleeping, so which means even the salaries that we are paying to the workers at the moment, we are paying them for doing nothing, Madam Speaker, and it's not their fault. Madam Speaker, I would like from where you are sitting to make a ruling. It is not radical, Madam Speaker, it is for the help of this county. Can we have a motion of county importance next week where all the members will come here? We shall, will I use the word bisect? We discuss this issue of the machinery because it's not doing us any good. As we speak, the excavator has been sleeping at Kwakum in the trading center, the capital city for Rishaupondo, Madam Speaker. It is sleeping on the road. A very shameful affair, Madam Speaker, so that at least we have a motion of county importance next week, and I'm sure wherever the chairman of road is sitting, I know he will support that. I know the honorable members in this house will support that. We come and discuss this machinery issue and have measures, whereas these machines were meant to come and help us. And as we discuss that, we shall be dispensing of with this matter of the statement which has been given by the chair after all the honorable members have had an opportunity document, which is a response by the chairman for roads. And Madam Speaker, I'm sure you have not sat in that chair for so many days, but I'm sure you are going to make a ruling which will make you an iron ready in that chair.
Point order.
You have a point of order.
Yes.
You know, I was calling the honorable member for Rishaupondo to make briefs on behalf of Kayani. If the statement has fully met, the threshold that he was looking for. But what I have noted is that he has just, debated on the statement. As I welcome the honorable member for Gatimu, I will consult on the way forward. Thank you. Welcome, Honorable Dan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. One I would like to contribute is the process itself, Madam. Well, in my ward, Gatimu, my ward people have a great hope for me. And this since they voted in for me, this is now the 6th month. And in fact, since they voted me in, nothing have been done in the ground. So on my contribution is through the chairman, I'd like him to take this issue as a very serious issue, because in fact it's really failing us down. So Madam Speaker, I'd like this thing to be checked in, because it's really very serious. So with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, through Mr. Mbogo, Kaidri, check on this matter seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dan. You can only address the chair in this house, Honorable Dan. Did I catch your eye, the minority leader? Do you wish to contribute to this?
No, I didn't have any matter. I was just worried on whether the member for Rishaupondo was ever given responsibility to count the number of times a chair sits on as a speaker. So imepitwa na wakati.
He has developed some interest on that. I think the Honorable Maria will will help him to to count. Anyway, I want to request Honorable Member for Leshao Pondo to refer to his standing orders number 35 and make a request to the Speaker through writing to have, to have such kind of a sitting that he's requesting. Yeah, it would be my privilege really to make such a ruling, but unfortunately our standing order guides us to such events. So refer to standing order number 35. Did I catch your eye, Honorable Mbogo?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
As the debate is coming to a conclusion, as you are bringing the ruling, first is to appreciate the members. Honorable Kongo has said about a meeting. Members have appreciated that we are also not supporting the said program. As time is going, the good baby is eating and eating. I appreciate that members have deliberated and shown concern that when we call them for a meeting, now they are going to respond. That is a start. Madam Speaker, they have requested for a meeting. You have just ruled that they can write whereby we can go for a sitting anywhere we are going to deliberate on the issue. Honorable Kamwana has mentioned about a negative balance. Remember, members, we are talking of budget 2021-2022 because the seeker of the statement particulated himself on that financial year. Members are now debating on the current budget. Our response is for 2021-2022 budget, but members are deliberating and debating 2022-2023. That is a difference that is coming in. And that is why we have said that we also went forward and noted even things were better there before in 2021-2022. So, as they have said, a meeting is of essence, and I think the seeker of the statement can guide us in coming up with a meeting because ourselves have responded to the statement based on the budget that was sought and requested for.
Thank you, Honorable Mbogo. The Honorable Leshao Pondo, the Honorable Member for Leshao Pondo, you have something to say?
Yes, I have something to say, Madam Speaker, and I was eagerly waiting because the statement response by Honorable Bogo is exhaustive. I can say it is exhaustive, but I humbly requested, maybe there are some honorable members who have so not seen this statement.
Point of order.
And
okay, just have a seat, Honorable.
Madam Speaker, we cannot, we have taken this house as if it's a bedroom. Honorable Gadilimo is totally asleep.
I believe the Honorable Member was meditating. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Point of order. I think the member is completely out of order for referring me to as asleep while I was just meditating on what is going on. How did I know that he said I am sleeping? I think this is, we are live, and that is totally out of order because this is defamation. I am not sure whether he has not been paid by my political enemies to tarnish my name.
Honorable Benji, have you been facilitated to
Madam Speaker, I was just taking care. Something important must pass while he is still meditating or sleeping. Thank you.
Thank you. We have discovered that he was just meditating and he was not asleep. So, Honorable Member for Leshao Pondo, sorry for interrupting.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And the distance between Honorable Deji and Honorable Gadrimo, maybe the eyesight.
Use your microphone, please.
Yeah, the eyesight might have failed the AG, because the moment he said he was asleep, I saw him rise. So, Madam Speaker, so what I was saying is, I was waiting for a ruling where you would say, despite the fact that we have gone paperless, I had requested that each and every honorable member, and I didn't hear any honorable member comment on that line, they get this document, Madam Speaker, so that they can be able to study it. I know Honorable Kamwana would appreciate having this document in his press. I know he peruses papers. He will go through it even at midnight to ensure those roads have been done. I know Honorable Dan would also appreciate to see whether the 18 kilometers which have been told have been gravelled have been done so, Madam Speaker. And on the same note, I've heeded to your call, and immediately I leave this house, I'll be in the table office so that at least I can write to the Speaker so that we can have a motion of county importance next week. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. We will have the Office of the Clerk facilitate the honorable members with a copy of this report before the closure of business tomorrow. That is okay? The honorable member for Lesha Opondo?
Very humbled. I wish you'd be in that seat for some few more days.
Thank you. So we have fully, deliberated on that statement. And the conclusion is that the honorable member for Lesha Opondo, who is holding briefs for Honorable Kayani, we will seek further to have a special sitting on standing order at 5 to deliberate further on that matter. So, next order, clerk.
Order number 8, the motions and bills. There's no business. And the business is appearing on the made order paper has been exhausted. To the supplementary order paper, order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements. Other statements, there is a statement by Honorable John Gashino, the Chairperson Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, and Urban Development.
So you have a response to make, Honorable Gashino? Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I lead, I wish to table a response that was sought by the one Esther Waithera Wangari, the county member for Gadhaji Ward.
Proceed to respond to your statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I wish to read the response as the Chair for Lands and Physical Planning. Madam Speaker, on the 18th day of October 2022, Honorable Esther Waithera Wangari, the county member for Gadhaji Ward, sought a statement pursuant to standing order number 45 regarding the status of issuance of title deeds in the county and allocation land of quarters, that is colonial villages. In this regard, on the stated day, the Speaker of the County Assembly directed that the Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development does inquire into the matter and respond to all the concerns raised within 14 days. Accordingly, the committee, through the Office of the Clerk, wrote a letter to the CECM for Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development, via letters, Reverend those numbers there. And the letter was dated 24th October 2022 and 11th November 2022, respectively. The department responded via a letter labeled Nyandarua /LHPP dated 26th October, requesting for more time to gather the information. The department, though having requested to avail the information on 4th November 2022, did submit the committee through the Office of the Clerk written submission and requested by the letters reference Nyandarua /LHPP/ADM/28 volume 3.3 that was dated 16th November 2022. The committee held various sittings to scrutinize the said submissions with the aim of compiling the statement response. The committee further held a workshop in Nakuru with the department with the aim of discussing the various queries raised by the committee on the highlighted hearing, among others. In the term of the statement were as follows. Madam Speaker, they sought to seek a statement from the Chairperson Committee on Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the status of issuance of certificate of lease in the county and the extent of allocation of land, squatters in colonial villages, addressing the following concerns. That Chapter 5 of the Constitution of Kenya states that all land in Kenya belongs to the people of Kenya collectively as a nation. As communities and individuals, with the National Land Commission mandated to advise the national government on a comprehensive program for the registration of title in land throughout Kenya. Further, aware that the Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019 establishes a county physical and land use planning consultative forum for each county, with one of its functions being to promote effective coordination and integration of physical and land use development and sector planning. Noting that the planning of use regulation of community land in the county is under the ambience of Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019, which mandates the Department of Land advising the county government on physical and land use planning matters that impact the county issuance of development permission and other development control instruments under this act. Appreciating that the county department of physical planning and urban development has enormous role in the development planning use of titling of land in the county empowered by the Constitution of Kenya, the Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019, the County Government Act, among other laws and statutes, concerned that there is need of Department of Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development to furnish the County Assembly with information on the issuance of certificate of lease in the County Assembly, the urban centers, the illegal occupation and possession of community and public land, formulation part development plans for all the urban centers and colonial villages in the county, and the formation of the preparation of the spatial plan. The membership of the committee, this committee, led by John Thu, I'm the chairman, Esther Waithela, vice chairman, Aricha Mwangi Nyaga, member, Hussein Dongo Kazana, member, Duncan Gedeji Chege, member, Ibrahim Mwangi, minor member, Daniel Getau, member, Naomi Modoni Gatia, member, Joyce Wajilu Munywa, member. During the completion of this report, the following constituted the committee secretary, led by David Mutai, who is the clerk, Mr. Wachanga Gode, senior Hansard editor. Acknowledgement. Madam Speaker, the committee acknowledges the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk for logistical and technical support they've provided, which made possible, effective, and timely execution of the responsible bestowed upon the committee. Response to the statement. The extent of issuance of individual list titles in the county's urban centers, especially Olkarau municipality, Madam Speaker, the information tabulated below shows the ongoing issuance of individual list titles. It details the name of the specific colonial village, total numbers of plots thereof, lease leases processed and non-processed leases. They include in villages like Mukeu, Nyairoko, Sofia, Wajohi, Koinange, Kiriko, Kaheho, Gorika, Murogaru, Rurie, Magumu, Donyojeru, Heni, Gano, Gadaje, Olkalau, Huluma, Kaibaga. The tabulated details are here. And Gediolo, to add on that, Turkana, Miharati, and Dabini. Whether there are any community and public land grabbing cases in the county and steps being taken by the county government to possess the said pieces of land. Madam Speaker, the department informed the committee that there are several cases of public land grabbing in the county, and the task force was established to forge the way forward. The said task force proposed that alternative dispute resolution, ADR, approach be executed to deal with the public grabbing cases in the county. They also sought to know the copies of development plan, stroke maps, and any other documentation of all the colonial villages. They also requested to know about the grabbed and encroached public land in every sub-county. Madam Speaker, the committee was informed that there are cases of public land grabbing or stroke encroachment in the sub-county headquarters as tabulated below. They are all in Olkalau, that is Olkalau town, namely like cemetery, sewage treatment works, administration, health center, stadium, arboretum, waste disposal. Others are in Oljololok town, cemetery, stadium, administration, health center, community center, then engineer town, water treatment works, health center, stadium, and administration, Kipipiri, Meharati town, cemetery, sewage treatment works, administration and health center. And in Dalagwa town, cemetery, sewage treatment works, and administration. They also sought to seek the survey report on the allocation of plots in Olkalau municipality and the steps taken in adjudication and resolution of dispute. Madam Speaker, the committee led that Olkalau town has 2,840 plots, of which 2,440 are non-disputed and 400 are disputed. Further, the committee observed that task force was constituted to address the matter, and it recommended that ADR be established to deal with the adjudication and resolution of the disputes, especially relating to the 400 plots. The steps and the time required in approval of physical development plans. Madam Speaker, in response to this, department defined and outlined the steps required for approval of the physical development plans, and they are listed below. Chapter 2, the committee's observation. I'm in page 14. Madam Speaker, having scrutinized the information that the department submitted, the committee arrived at the following observations. 1, the collision that the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development suffers slow execution of processes pertaining to administration of public land in the county is due to acute shortage of workforce. Number 2, the department submitted to the committee that copies of development plans, maps, and any relevant documentation relating to public land in the county are available for review. 3, the department acknowledged that the cases of public land grabbing in the county about building from this department in an effort to solve the land grabbing predicament in the county made a deliberate resolve to apply the principle of rapprochement and adopted the approach of alternative dispute resolution, that is ADR. Number 4, the department submitted that the institution controls regarding approval of physical development plans are highly decentralized and are typified by rather laborious bureaucracies. 5, the department appreciated that compilation of survey report on allocation of plots in Olkarau town has unpredictably delayed. 6, the committee underscored the reality that the land piece belonging to Silibwet Health Center was encroached. Nonetheless, the committee acknowledged the department's plan to replan the entire Silibwet urban center, since only through the committee urges this Honorable House to pressure the department to set a specific timeline within which successfully complete the replanning of the said urban center. Number 7, and the last one, the committee acceded to the department's request to constitute a task force comprising members of this August House to pursue with the national government Ministry of Lands the matter of issuance of the remaining 2,272 lease title deeds to occupants of various colonial villages in the county. The committee appreciated the department's effort of having issued 1,577 individual lease titles to occupants of the colonial villages. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, the committee requests this Honorable House to grant it more time to make site visits in a bid to ascertain the veracity of the information provided by the department. This will help committee to compile an all-inclusive report on the matter at hand. JLR designated that it does not leave a live dragon out your calculations. If you live near one in the same amplitude, this House must intervene in quashing the troublous public rat dragon in the county. Finally, Madam Speaker, the committee pledges to unrelentingly and assiduously continue performing its oversight role to ensure that public rat hurdles in the county are fruitfully resolved. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Gassino. I noted you requested for time for more site visits.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
I'm looking for any person who is holding briefs on behalf of Esther, because she was the seeker of this statement. And I think there is none. Are the members of the House also fully satisfied with this statement? Yes, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report and to the extent to thank the Committee on Land, Physical Planning and Urban Development for so far gaining this response, and also having been able to do the oversight and having sorted this report. Although I'm not holding brief to Esther, our Honorable Esther, Madam Speaker, it is very important that land matters be taken seriously. One, because land issue in this country, and particularly in this county, is very emotive. Emotive because there is a great sentimental attachment to the land. One, because it is an asset, and it is a factor of production. Madam Speaker, when we are talking of over 50, this should be, we are going to 60, almost 60 years after independence. Yet, there is no document to ascertain that the piece of land you have is yours, and you can use it either to access funds from the bank or you can transfer it to your kin, it is very disheartening. And it shows a lot of laziness in this particular department. But I thank God, and we thank the new administration and the philosophy of change that it has. If there is anything to be done, it is to change this narrative that, you know, a kind of, is it a commission or it is whatever the committee is formed to establish the facts, they bring a report, and then the report gathers dust on the shelves. Nothing has been done. I believe we are doing disservice to our people. And we should fast track the issuance of the lease certificates, the titles, and also we must fight land grabbing. And fighting it is by doing land clinic and surveying all the land and giving it title deeds so that we don't facilitate the grabbing. And all the grabbers should be put to shame, because you can imagine when you are grabbing a cemetery just to build a house, not knowing tomorrow your days are also numbered. You might need the same facility to rest with your ancestors. And when you are grabbing a cemetery, you are denying services to members of public who do not own land and they have nowhere to rest their loved ones when they pass on. And therefore, I believe the land department has enough on its trays. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I cannot overemphasize the importance of this committee going to site visits so that they can ascertain where this land grabbing has taken place, where these cemeteries are, earmark them, and then come here in the assembly, and then we will go and chase out all those land grabbers and return this land to the rightful owners. That is what we should do, Madam Speaker, so that we can bring sanity to the land department. And again, Madam Speaker, we should know the value to which this land holds. That land is an asset. We are denying these people access to important funds, especially right now we have very many money lenders. And this money lend can lead to, you know, to income to some talented owners of this land. They can invest in business and they can earn out of that land. And therefore, as this statement has been sought, I must say that a lot need to be done because we need to know the way forward. We need to know when these titles, these lease certificates will be given. There are some churches even now, especially, I don't have a colonial village in my ward. We do not have one, but we have people who are allocated land, institutions like churches, who are allocated land to use. And as the politics changes and we have new holders of these political positions, sometimes they have found themselves being thrown out and these pieces of land given to other people who are cronies of the politicians. And they have been denied the services of a land they have used for over 60 years. Madam Speaker, it should go on record, like in Geta Market. A few years ago, a whole town was burned down by an evil mind. We do not know who it was, but the town burned down. But the saddening thing was that all the temporary occupancy certificates that were disregarded. These people were confiscated of their plots. These plots were given to other people. It was subdivided to small, very uneconomical spaces, and then given again to other people. Madam Speaker, this led to denial of income to some people who are totally depressed. Some of them even died. And this is as a result of not having lease certificates, not having ownership certificates, identification of those plots to the rightful owners, so that you can be assured that tomorrow you'll be here doing business. You'll be here occupying that particular space. That should not happen again, and this administration should leave a legacy by having all these spaces allocated to their rightful owners. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, the Deputy Speaker. Honorable Casino request for more time to, continue further with this report. And I believe that is still the mandate of the committee. The committee can still proceed to do site visits and continue to expand this report as requested. The office of the Speaker will always facilitate for that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. That statement is fully deliberated. Clerk?
Order number 8 are the motions and bills. There are no bills, but there is a motion by the office of the leader of the majority party.
Thank you. Now I wish to call. All right. The minority leader was already upstanding. I request you to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, that pursuant to Standing Order 32.4C, this House does resolve to sit on a day other than the next normal sitting day, such that the House adjourns from today, the 28th day of February, to Monday, the 6th day of March, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Madam Speaker, this is necessitated by the fact that all of us are aware that we had some bit of a schedule, and because all of us in different committees, we were vetting different CEOs. All the committees which are interlocking have a mandate to do a report, and the report have timelines. From the date His Excellency the Governor did give his names, and when they were tabled, we have a timeline to submit or to finalize with the vetting process by Tuesday. We're looking at the number of reports expected. Madam Speaker, we are unable to exhaust the entire business on a single day, which is Tuesday, which is the normal sitting day. So we are seeking for two issues. One is that we do not sit tomorrow, so that we can allow the committees to have ample time to go and deliberate individually, write their reports, and that we do not again resume on the normal day, which is going to be on Tuesday, and instead resume on Monday, so that we can have it as a special sitting, allowing us to debate and approve or disapprove the CEOs as the committees may decide between the day of Monday, the 6th, and Tuesday. I don't know whether I have said Monday the 6th. Yes, Monday and Tuesday. I'm sure the members have agreed to this, and I will therefore be asking the majority Chief Whip to second.
Thank you for moving that motion, the minority leader, and the National Council executive member for the UDA party and the majority whip for seconding. Now I want to propose the motion that pursuant to standing order number 32-4C, this House does resolve to sit on a day other than next normal sitting day, such that the House adjourns from 28th day of Tuesday to Monday 6th day of March 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Good. Honorable members, I now wish to put the question that pursuant to standing order number 32-4C, this House does resolve to sit a day other than next normal sitting day, such that the House adjourns from today, 28th Tuesday of February, to Monday, the 6th day of March 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Will as many as of the similar opinion say aye? Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Honorable Kongo, can I have your seat?
Madam Speaker, the business of this sitting as appearing on the main order paper and the supplementary order paper has been exhausted.
Thank you. This House stands adjourned to 6th day of March 2023. Thank you. At 9:30 a.m.
Honorable member, that is